Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just finished watching episode 6 of Moon Knight, which is also the final episode of the series. So, naturally, with all the plot points that were raised throughout these 5 episodes previously, and with the insane amount of stuff that needed to be completed for the final episode, I didn't expect it to be the shortest episode of the whole bunch, and that's including the after credits scene. But surprisingly, I think it actually ended up working out. So, it has basically all the hallmarks you'd expect of a Disney Plus finale outside of the length, though. It basically has Moon Knight coming back with Steven and Mark getting to show off their skills. Layla gets to use a goddess form under Taweret, so she gets her own abilities, which kind of remind me of Wonder Woman 1984, but thankfully the series doesn't have nearly the amount of problems that movie did. And we get to see a giant kaiju battle between Khonshu and Ammit, which is, yes, ridiculous, but considering the other things that have happened throughout the series, I don't think it's without precedent. And ultimately, what we kind of expected a Marvel series to happen with a big, epic final battle at the end anyways, so it certainly has that down. While the CGI at times could get a little messy, and while I do think it tried to fit in too much stuff into 6 episodes, I do think that this series is able to handle its tone and characters and messages better than a lot of other of the Marvel shows. Because one thing I can say about almost all of them is that they start off strong, but at some point down the line they do something or introduce someone that happens to screw up most of what the series has been building up. This series doesn't feel like it does that. It keeps the focus on Moon Knight throughout, but it also just gives Layla something to do and the means to do so. Arthur Harrow gets to be a genuinely pretty cool villain throughout the entire thing, even when he's basically bowing down to a crocodile Egyptian goddess who manages to chew the scenery despite having only this episode to show off her true form. And the series manages to also feel really fun and a bit of the darker side of the Marvel Universe without going so dark as to be, anti-Disney. I definitely was thinking they'd tone down some of the edge for the Disney Plus version, and they certainly did. But to be fair, it does have the effects and star power that you would need to tell this story regardless. Plus, they even happen to sell us on another personality that's inside Mark Spector and Stephen Grant's head, which, honestly, if Mark Spector ever comes back to the MCU, I'd love to see them handle that personality a bit more. But that's neither here nor there. As considering that I'm going to the next Doctor Strange movie tomorrow, this feels like a good place to stop for Moon Knight. And as far as these shows go, I do think the action's pretty solid, and even though the CGI was a bit sketchy at points, the characters and the writing, which are paramount, by the way, helped pull me through. Oscar Isaac does an amazing performance as both Stephen Grant and Mark Spector, and I generally love Ethan Hawke as a villain, and he's something that I think the Marvel Universe has been missing in terms of villains. Even if he's obviously never coming back. But if they happen to bring Mark Spector back for a new version of the Avengers, I'd like that. So I'm going to give the Moon Knight series an 8 out of 10. I have no idea what's going to happen next for the character, but I'm excited either way. See you next time.